know about life overseas as a black Christian missionary. Talking about relationships, God, fashion, and everything in between. Together, learning about a new culture and how they love. I'll take care of you, you take care of me, then everyone is taken care of. On Young Family, it's Lady A. You're watching MKJ TV. You're watching MKJ TV. On Young Family, it's Lady A. You're watching MKJ TV. You're watching MKJ TV. It's Avatar Teachers, really nice to meet ya. It's Avatar Teachers, really nice to meet ya. How you doing? It's Avatar Teachers, really nice to meet ya. It's Avatar Teachers, really nice to meet ya. On Young Family, it's Lady A. You're watching MKJ TV. You're watching MKJ TV.
Hello everyone, you are watching MKJ TV. I'm not even sure where to look because I'm trying a different camera and I'm just like, I don't know where to look. So I'm gonna look at myself here in the screen, and hopefully that doesn't weird you out and it doesn't weird me out when I look at the replay, because it might just not work. Anyway, you tuned in to MKJ TV. I feel like maybe yeah, okay, I should be looking here. You're here. All right. You tuned in to MKJ TV, and it is I, Lady A. If you're following me on anything like Periscope, Twitter, Instagram, it's at Lady A Global, and that's it, at Lady A Global. And my website, which totally needs help, is www.sheisladya.com. But you can find out my speaking dates, tour dates, if you want to come catch up with me or find out about the book, Awesome Truths, Confessions of a Believer. All that can be found on my website. It's just not the prettiest website. I'm working on it. And if you have any expertise in the website department, you most definitely can reach out to me. So today, as the title says, the KKK came to my church. And let me be clear that this video is not out of fear. This video is not out of anger. This video is out of I'm over it, right? And so I'm an extremely passionate person. I'm just passionate about life. I'm passionate about travel. Obviously, I'm passionate about cultural exchange. I've literally made my life's career around bringing people together. And when you encounter a people that are so just to the left of togetherness, it is super, super hard, right? But those are not the people that I'm called to. I'm called to those people who are open to experience something different, to learn something different about themselves and someone else at the same time, becoming better humans. And so I used to make a lot of race videos, especially when I was living in Korea, because I think that the experience of the person of color overseas is a narrative that we don't necessarily talk about it. At the same time, it does need to be explored, because a lot of the racism that is encountered overseas is sheer ignorance. They really don't know any better. What they know is what Hollywood has told them. And so I felt that it was important to speak on those narratives. But what I realized was that because that was not the experience of non-people of color, the information wasn't received properly, and they were not in a headspace to really hear what I was saying, and they were immediately on the defensive and immediately wanted to say ugly and mean and hateful things that turned my channel, which is supposed to be a place of beauty and growth and togetherness, into something really ugly. And so I just stopped commenting on those things on video. Of course, I talked about them on Facebook, because some things you just can't look over and get past and beyond. So anyway, I kind of got away from that, and I know that a lot of my videos have been empowering, because that is what I'm about. Is about empowerment, travel empowerment. I'm about person-to-person empowerment, cultural empowerment. I'm just about empowering yourself to then go and empower others. It really is what I am committed to. But this video today has got to be about race, because I have got to speak my truth. And you guys, if you've followed me for any amount of years, I'm saying several things, but one of them is to remain true to your own personal integrity, to your self-integrity, remain true to your integrity, speak your truth. And I think if we spoke our truth in love and obviously honesty, and we had integrity to our own personal truths with one another, and we were able to embrace that with ourselves and embrace someone else's truth, even if it's not the same truth, we can respect that that's your reality. And I just really think we don't do that enough as a people. So anyway, I'm extremely passionate. I have to be careful where I invest my passion, because I can go really far with it. And so I have not been as vocal about my belief of and my support of the Black Lives Matter movement for multiple reasons, but mainly personal ones. I know myself, and I don't want to take on this movement with so much passion and fervor, and I leave behind the things God has assigned for my life. So although I support Black Lives Matter and the movement of people of color altogether, that is not something that I put at the forefront of everything that I do. I rather show that Black Lives Matter by doing something different. I rather show that Black Lives Matter by making a difference, that my life matters, and I am a person of color. And that's my way of changing the world, by offering travel to people of color, by going to other countries and letting them experience a person of color outside of their stereotype. For me, that's my front line. That's how I combat, these racial injustices that exist all over the world. But today, I want to go beyond that, and just not even beyond. I want to bring it local and not global, to my personal experience this past Sunday. So let me also preface this by saying, when people say, and excuse me if you hear the coarseness in my tone, because it is indeed real, but when people say things like Black Lives Matter, and then the reply is, well, all lives matter, that is the most insensitive, uneducated, ignorant thing anyone could possibly say. In 2016, with access to statistics, with access to Google, a library, a person of color, an elderly person of color, I cannot understand how anybody in their right mind would say, what do you mean Black Lives Matter? All lives matter. Like, that whole statement is just BS. It's just altogether BS in a time where access is at your fingertips. If you aren't sure, look it up. Just look it up. Take a little bit of time. Look it up. Teach yourself. Like, don't wait for media or your political party to stir the pot and give you information. Go find it for yourself, and you might stumble your way into humanity, right? So I'm angry, not with white people altogether. I am angry with humans who do not see, respect, or embrace the plight of fellow humans. That bothers me, because there is but one race, the human race. That's it. There is not a supreme race. There is not a lesser race. And if we were going to talk about a supreme race, let me let you know it would not be the one that lacks melanin. Scientific, like on any plane, would non-melanated creatures be the superior, when literally your lack of melanin is a mutation? Like, I just, and I'm not going to go deep into that, but I'm just going to say that if there was a race to be supreme, it would not be the mutant race, would not be the supreme race. It wouldn't be. The other part of me being over it is someone like myself, who I am constantly working interculturally with churches, with schools, with people, companies, to enjoy the things that I enjoy. They're multifaceted. I enjoy food from all countries. I enjoy music of all genres. And so when I flip to these stations, in this case, CCM. I am calling out the K-Loves, the His Radios, Fish, you know, all of these stations that are CCM, Christian Contemporary, i.e. predominantly white music, white worship music. And you guys are silent about what's happening to fellow humans, yet you're a Christian station. That bothers me. That kind of strokes me the wrong way. Love your music. Love listening to it. I probably can name and sing along with most of the songs that come on country radio, most of the songs that come on CCM, because I enjoy the music. But when I hear you appropriating our tone in some cases, but you say nothing about killing. These are killings. There's a whole commandment about thou shalt not kill. And to dance around it and make entire days about a gorilla. And you won't even consider that maybe, and here's my thing. And this is a bit of a rant video, so excuse me that this is not, normally I have everything placed out in order, but I just really needed to get this off of my heart. The thing is, even if you don't know what to say, you can see pain, you can see angst, you can see anxiousness, like it's visible. So even if you don't know what to say, saying we are praying for our fellow humans that are suffering right here. We can't imagine being people of color at a time like this. We're going to pray. Those statements are allowed. That does not mean you've hopped your political ship. It doesn't mean that you're on the Black Lives Matter movement. It means you have a heart. Is what that means. It means you have compassion. It means that when you read scriptures about seeking peace, when you read scriptures about loving thy neighbor, when you read scriptures about for he gave his son to die for the entire world, you get it. That's what that means. That means you get it. And I feel like the cross is there for us to hide behind in our sin. It is not there for us to hide behind our duty as believers to be socially aware and to fight for social injustice, which is a part of us as believers. We are Christians, like Christ-like, and he was considered a heretic because of how outspoken he was about the social injustices of that time. And I cannot understand how a people who would think that Jesus was blonde-haired and blue-eyed cannot take it a step further and say, just maybe, he wants us to take care of these things that are absolutely wrong in our neighborhoods that surround us. Like, I don't see how your thought process doesn't continue on. And so I feel like, again, you might not know the words to say. You can't empathize with something you've never experienced, but you can sympathize with me, right? You can send your sympathy. And I feel like many of these non-melanated people who are doing these crimes, and they are crimes, no matter how you dress it up, no matter how you hide behind it, no matter how you don't have to give an account, it is a crime. They are attending your church. They are listening to your stations. And the power of influence is great. And if you were to simply say, there is more to people than their skin color, let us all be cognizant of that throughout the week, that one statement might cause someone to say, you know what? You're more than baggy pants. You're more than a hoodie. Although entire droves of white people wear hoodies. Emo kids wear hoodies all the time. I see athletes, white athletes at Duke University, not too far, running in hoodies. Like, the double standards and all, I just feel like if pastors were to say something, I feel like at some point your silence is a quiet cosign. And it tears my heart. Like, y'all can hear, it tears my heart apart that people have tools to change and refuse to use them. They refuse to use their power of influence. And I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. And so to bring it around to why today I wanted to say something, so this past Sunday, I was at church. Obviously, I was there for Sunday school. I am the Sunday school teacher at my church. One of many. We had a team of us. And I get out of my car, and the man who lives at the other end of the corner comes running. Actually, no, that's not true. He drives around, hops out his car, and then comes running like full speed ahead. And I'm like, whoa. And he's like in tears. And he's saying to me, did they target you? Are you okay? Did they attack you? Sir, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what's happening. And I can see that he's upset. As I said, he's red. He's crying. And he says, the KKK, have they attacked you? Is the church okay? And I took a pause and I said, what's going on? So he turns around in his truck and he pulls out, and that's actually the picture that you all see at the screensaver. He pulls out these baggies with rocks in them, and they've got these leaflets, and they are, the loyal white knights, blah, blah, blah. Here's our hotline, kill the niggers. I think it said like something about Black Lives Matter, uneducated, da, 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 whatever. We've got to stop the niggers. Like, of course, all the negativity you could possibly spew on a tiny little leaflet, was there. And, hotline, join us, the loyal white knights of the KKK. And as you all know, one of the things that I do many things, but one of the things I do is I care and do counseling for special needs individuals. And the individual I had with me that day was just confused. And she just was like, why do they want to kill me? And having to explain to a special needs person the plight of the KKK in 2016 was just like, are you kidding me? So back to the guy. I'm sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent here because as you can see, I'm upset. So the guy is telling me he feels like he was targeted because him and his wife have many black friends that come over to the house. They help, and this particular house has decorations 24/7, 365. Full yards of like dinosaurs coming up out of the sand. Like they have, that's their thing. They have I don't even want to downplay and say decorations. These are like yard displays. Like it's an amusement park in his yard. So everyone knows him from that. But apparently the people who helps him are also black. And the reason why I note that is because in this particular neighborhood, I actually grew up in this neighborhood in Raleigh. It is now the wealthiest neighborhood in Raleigh. And it's, we are the only black church. We are the only black anything in this neighborhood. Due to gentrification, all these old houses are now occupied by millennials and a sprinkle of baby boomers, but mainly millennials. And these houses are huge, like these huge old houses that used to be multi-family houses when people of color lived in them. So anyway, he was concerned that we were the niggers that they were talking about. We were, the people that they wanted to kill and wanted the neighborhood to join with them on this witch hunt for, people like me, brown people, uneducated brown people, who are the bane of everyone's existence, and we are the problem, according to them. And so, with tears in his eyes, he said, I've been up all morning. I started at 6 a.m. I've been up all morning trying to go from house to house to house to collect all of these leaflets. They had put on people's cars, on their porches, and he had collected 31 so far. And he said, I'm going to stop long enough to call the police. I've let the neighborhood watch know. And I just can't understand. I don't understand. And I had to let him know, unfortunately, these people are all around us. You feel this pain today, right now. This is a concern of ours all the time. Like, are you one that's going to kill me today? And so he was so upset. Of course, I stopped and I prayed with him, obviously, because we're at church. He's concerned for the church. I thanked him for his concern, and I prayed for him because he was, like I said, crying and just upset. But I couldn't help but think of 4 girls in Alabama who simply wanted to go to Sunday school, and their church was blown up by the KKK. I couldn't help but think about that. And I'm going into Sunday school, and I attend a church full of kids. And I mean, innocent kids, like the one who I was with who didn't understand why someone would want to kill them simply because they were there, simply because they were black, simply because they were breathing. And I am fully aware that it's election season, and this is also a part of the tactic of systematic racism. I don't want you to wear a hood, but I do want your signature. I do want your vote. So you need to call this hotline and hear about how it's black people who are the reason why you're paying more taxes, even though you're part of the 1%, and blah, 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 blah. So let's get these bills in the house. Let's get people in the house who will vote our way and who will support our vision, even if you don't wear a hood. I get that that's part of the tactic. I'm fully aware of how that works. But at the end of the day, these kids they're not old enough to vote. They don't know what you're talking about. When you run by the church with your dog, we say hi. In fact, our church has been the church that a few incidences, from natural disasters to robberies to death, we show up. Our church that doesn't look like you, we're the ones who are praying for you. We're the ones who take you fruit baskets. We're the ones who hold vigils when terrible things happen in the neighborhood. We're the ones who console you. Countless white people have come in drunk off of their tails, stumbling into church when we have, service going on. We don't kick them out and say, what are you doing? You're drunk. No, we embrace them in their drunkenness. My pastor has prayed for people while they're drunk, brought them to tears, had them give their lives to the Lord. Like, we're doing our job in this community as a church. We're doing this, and this is how you treat us. You want us out of here. You want this love gone. And so it was very hard for me to focus in church on Sunday, because I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you're going to recruit. I mean, it was at all the neighbors' houses all around the church, but not at the church. And I was just like, really? Like, really? Really? This is what we're doing? So my pastor was so just eloquent and, don't let them cause you to hate. Don't let these threats and these rocks, in baggies with leaflets, and don't let this behavior become a part of who you are when it was never yours to begin with. And she was absolutely right. I'm still angry, but I have a different view about it. And of course, I was already in the midst of planning a rally here in Raleigh, because I feel like the best intervention is prevention. So before we have another tragedy, I already wanted to get the pastors from different cultures together talking. I wanted the congregations to come together and pray for one another. Like, literally, what is your prayer request? Let me pray for you. And then let us come together and worship together and let God hear our prayer for this community, for this country, for this nation, because it's his word that promises, if we who are called by his name humble ourselves and pray, that he'll heal our land. So I was already in the midst of planning this rally. I've never wanted to plan it even more now. I'm just like, man, this has got to happen. Like, really? The KKK? Really? You gonna come to a church full of young people? Like, it's not like we're the old biddies, like, we're a church full of young people, kids, there's a lot of kids. There's a lot of single people, young adults. Like, we're just getting started in life, and we don't hold any hate towards you. We've never done anything but had an open door policy in this community, and to want us out because of our skin color and make all these assumptions when you've never even spoken to us, like, that bothers me. Every summer we have a street festival, and the whole neighborhood comes together, and we're passing out free hot dogs and ice cream, and we have the food trucks come, and all these jump houses, and the whole neighborhood comes. We don't say this is just for the black people at our church, because trust me, it's no black people in this community. They commute in. Our congregation commutes in. So it just really, really bothered me. So in the spirit of speaking up and speaking out, one, that was a super coward thing to do, because if you really believed in what you were doing, you'd show your face. You'd come and say, we want you out because of blah, 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 blah. And then you wouldn't just say it and spew it. You would give me a chance to reply to you and your foolery. We could come together and debate. That's what a real man does, and or woman. You don't hide behind rocks in a bag and a leaflet. Like, I just felt that was silly. Two, I feel that there are more people who are unaware of what's actually happening due to white privilege. They get to live in their bubble unaffected. And I felt like sharing this was not about fear, and it's not about instilling fear in anyone else, but it's about saying, no, really, these things are still going on in 2016. And when you don't do anything, you are condoning it. And if you continue to allow these things to happen around you, it could be something as simple as when you hear racially charged statements or jokes, speak up and say, that makes me uncomfortable. I actually know someone black. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to pass on that. Something that simple could cause someone to think, i.e., I have hundreds of thousands of friends on Facebook, literally, from all walks of life. Why is it only the black people and foreigners on my timeline saying anything about the treatment of people of color in this country? Why? Why are my Asian friends more concerned with what's going on in our country than my friends who I've grown up with my whole entire life? You're silent. You are mute. And I can't understand, because you know me. And you know that I'm fearful that my brother on his motorcycle, being normal, is going to be killed because of the color of his skin. I'm fearful that my father in his old clunk cars that he fixes for other people, he drives around to try and figure out what's wrong so he can fix them for free for people who can't afford to go to the mechanic, is going to be pulled over and then be killed because of the color of his skin. Like, why can't you say, Avery, I don't get it, but I'm praying for you? That takes you nothing. It's free. You don't have to get it. Pray. Or I'm sending you light and love, or good vibes, or whatever you want to say. Like, I don't understand the quietness. I do not understand how people could respond all lives matter when people say Black lives matter, because we aren't saying that only black. No one has ever said only Black lives matter. The statement is Black lives matter because in this country, clearly they have not. In saying all lives matter, that includes black. So I should also be able to say Black lives matter. It should be the same thing as you saying all lives matter. But it's not, because all lives aren't in jeopardy at a traffic stop. All lives don't have to go through extra behaviors and procedures just to make it home. All lives don't have to, be berated and insulted and not allowed to say anything because we might be killed by the police. That doesn't apply to all lives, because I've seen video after video after video of all lives swinging on police, gun in hand, waving a knife, still alive, live to tell the story about it. And then the ignorance that goes on about, oh, well, black on black crime means what? What are you saying? Are you saying that because black on black crime happens, I should be silent about the white on black crime? No. I don't stump my toe and say, well, don't worry about, well, your toe is stumped, so forget this broken ankle because your toe is stumped. What? No, I'm going to handle it all at the same time. And as I said, I don't make many of these videos because I feel so passionately about it. My parents are older and they grew up during the civil rights movement, and really, Roland Martin did a wonderful job of giving a timeline. We've really only been free, for real free, since 1970. Just that soon. And I think that we forget that in all of our technology, and we have a black president and all that other stuff. We don't realize that the KKK still are showing up at people's churches like mine on a Sunday morning, trying to threaten and trying to spew their evil into our space of love. Like, that's still happening, guys. Still. It just happened to me this past Sunday. And I'm not uneducated. I'm not hateful. Yes, I do support Black Lives Matter because I'm black and I believe my life matters just as much as someone who doesn't look like me. Just one conversation. I think that these people don't have conversations. They just have what their group tells them, and they don't really have any interactions with people, which brings me to my next point, and I'm going to close this long video because I could rant on and on for days, and I'm not going to. This is going to be my release, and that's going to be that. Statistically, and you all can look this up yourself, statistically, 75% as of 2014, guys, this was like yesterday. As of 2014, 75% of white people have no contact with any other race. That means they only have all white friends. They go to an all white school, they visit the all white grocery store, and they go to the all white church and listen to the all white station, and they watch all white TV. Like, all they have is what they see on TV of people of color. And we know that Hollywood likes for us to play, we are typecasted. They like for us to play a specific role. Never the educated, never the non-sexual object, never the mover, the shaker, the empower, never any of those things. And so, if you don't have access to black people, you don't know any black people, you have your own issues going on, you get a gun and a badge. When you go meet black people, what do you think you're going to do? The same thing Korean people did when they saw me. Come to you. Like, it's, it's, you're caught off guard. You don't know what to do. You don't know if you want to touch them. You don't know. And if you've heard that people that look like me are going to kill you, you're going to shoot first. And you're not going to think about it. You know why? Because you don't know any black people. 75%, that's a huge number. 75% of white people don't know any black people, but yet you want to say out of your mouth, all lives matter. Really? Why don't you know any other lives? And it's not just black people who live in this country. There are Indian people, both Native American and actually from India. There are Asian people from a myriad of different countries. There are Hispanic people. Why don't you know any other white people? Any other colors, if all lives matter to you? Why don't you? I'd like to give you some more statistics. I did write something down. According to the FBI, this is not Avery. I did not make this up. You can look this up on usuncut.org or .com. But look up these statistics. According to the FBI, from the stats in 2015, that was yesterday. 84%, guys, 84% of white murders in this country were committed by, drumroll please, whites. Not blacks, whites. 2, whites statistically kill more whites than blacks. So you're fearful that we'll kill you? You should be fearful of your neighbor, because according to these statistics, they have to get you. Number 3, white people commit statistically more crimes than any other race. That's not just black. Any other race, white people commit more crimes. But you're feared for your life when you see me, though. You move your purse to the other side when you see me walking down the street, which happens all the time. You're shocked at my articulation as if I'm supposed to say what? Do what? Commit a crime? Like the rest of the people who look like you? Right. Number 4. White people kill more members of vulnerable populations than any other race. Mind you, this is statistics done by the FBI. Any other race, white people. And number 5, gang murders in the United States are most common among, you guessed it, whites. So there are tons of other statistics, but just those alone, and we're not even scratching the fact that, those who benefit from affirmative action most are white women. We are not talking about, that the highest percentage of culture or race that uses welfare are whites. We're not talking about those statistics, although those are real. You can look those up too. We're just talking about crime. So when I say Black Lives Matter, please stop killing us. Hands up, don't shoot. I can't breathe. Tamir Rice was 12 years old playing in the park and was killed in 2 minutes. When I say those things and your response is all lives matter, when your response is, well, what about black on black crime? My response is, what about white on white crime? What about white crime altogether? Because we're not even dropping a needle in the bucket. 84%, that's quite a bit. So this video was not to divide the races, but it was more so to, first of all, pour out. Secondly, to encourage you to study, learn, research on. Even bigger than that, if we are going to get together on one accord, we've got to have some truth statements. I recently posted a meme that said, I am allowed to be a masterpiece and simultaneously a work in progress. That has got to be the view of us as Americans. We individually are masterpieces in our own right as individuals, because no two people, no two white people, no two black people, no two Hispanic people, no two people are like you and your uniqueness. You are a masterpiece and you are beautiful and you should be celebrated. But at the same time, we've got some work to do. We are a work in progress as it turns and as it relates to how we relate to each other. Systematic racism is crazy. Systematic classism is crazy. Systematic sexism is crazy in this country. We have got to address these things. You cannot be an ostrich and put your head in the sand. Black people are being murdered. Point blank. And no one's saying anything other than black people. That's a problem. That's a real problem. Native Americans still don't have their land back. That's a problem. They're still forced to live on reservations. That, to me, that's a problem. Why are we not talking about that in our wonderful masterpiece? And some people say, oh, well, white power, more power to you. But in your power, let's use your power for good. Because most certainly, I've talked to several people from other cultures, and they always say, oh, we look for the black people because we know they're going to embrace us. We know they're going to hug us. We know they're going to celebrate us and invite us in. So what is your white power doing? Other than trying to eliminate everyone else who doesn't look like you. I don't know. So anyway, I just hope this video causes you to think. I know it's long, but and my mind is like going a mile a minute. But I hope that it causes you to think. I hope that it causes you to pray. And I hope that it causes you to reevaluate how you see your faith as it pertains to the Black Lives Matter movement. And even if you take that away, the All Lives Matter movement, if you are a non-person of color, how does your faith cause you to see a fellow human? And how does your faith speak to the injustices that are happening? Are you seeking peace? And if so, how? Is your peace the same as your silence? I petition you that it's not. It can't be. Not if you're a Christian. I don't see where Christ was ever silent about social injustices that he witnessed. So pray for my church. Please pray for me, as I will continue to pray for you. I always pray for my viewers and the world. Pray for our Muslim brothers and sisters who are being just slaughtered. I think I mentioned on last week, Buddhist monks, which is crazy, are just slaughtering Muslims. I mean, blowing up schools with kids in them, attacking them with motorcades like crazy. You guys know the monks are supposed to be chill, somewhere along the line. There's extremists in every group, obviously. So let's pray for the extremists. Let's pray that their hearts are changed and they see the bigger picture, that what they're doing is only adding to the problem. It's not helping anything. Let's definitely pray for countries that are being attacked, by extremists, and those who actually love their religion and who actually are carrying out their religion, are getting a bad rap because of these extremists. So let's definitely pray for cultural interaction and cultural relations and cultural intelligence. Let's pray the increase of cultural intelligence all over the world increases. I pray that cultural tolerance increases. I pray that cross marriage, cross love increases. It's harder for me to say I hate you when I lay next to you every night. Just pray for the world, man. We're in a bad shape. We're in a bad way. And I'm hoping that us traveling and encountering each other and empowering each other, embracing each other, does a little bit to change the bigger picture. So yeah, this is Lady A with an uncomfortable conversation PSA, but I hope that, something I've said has caused you to rethink how you interact with your neighbor, whether your neighbor looks like you or not. Hopefully, if you're in that 75%, then you can kind of go out of the community a little bit, go meet somebody who doesn't look like you. You might be pleasantly surprised, just maybe. Yeah, so many things I could say right now. So, yeah, if you're appropriating our culture, our food, our dancing, our singing, our hair, our lips, our skin tan, all those things, realize that we're actual people. And if you loved our people as much as you loved our culture, we might actually be further down the road. I'm just saying. And as of late, now you're appropriating speeches. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. Where does this end? Where does it end? But I'm going to end this video right now before I get on a whole other rant. So definitely, as always, send you guys tons of light and love. Mwah, sarang heyo. Pray for me. I'm praying for you. As you guys always know, I say, if I take care of you and you take care of me, everyone's taken care of. So till next time, we'll have a lighter video on next week. You've been watching MKJ TV, and I am Lady A. Talk to you guys later. Bye.